Hey guys, Eric here with Eric and Nikki. And today we are going to show you one of our newest flips, $1 million rehab in Brentwood. And we're gonna show you how we got it, what it looks like on the inside, what we possibly are gonna do with it, and run through some numbers for you. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and tell your friends. All right guys, so you see how big this house is. I'm 6'7", this thing's huge. How we got this property is through mail. We sent a batch of mail out. With mail for us, we send very small targeted lists to specific people that we want to buy from. The other thing with mail that we really like is it's an inbound marketing source. The people that are calling you for normally one of two reasons: to tell you to screw off and they don't want to sell their house, or to sell their house. The calls for us is we live answer all of our mail, and that was the case here. So we live answered. The lady did not want the house anymore. It was way too big for her. It was 6,000 square feet, and we negotiated the deal for $825. We felt that was a good opportunity for us to have some spread, really do a nice rehab, and still make a good amount on the property. It actually took us about 3 months of negotiating, getting everything down. The other thing that this lady really wanted is a lease back. So we've actually technically owned this house for about 6 months. So it has a lot of holding costs, but that's why you want to make sure the spread, right, or the money that you're going to receive at the end is there, because with holding costs, you always have to take into account. So we're actually spending about $8,000 a month right now in holding costs. It's a large amount. Once we got this under contract and we closed, we allowed her to lease back. So she did pay us some rent, so our holding cost actually was about $4,000 during the time that she had it. She moved out and gave us the property as you see it. And I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with it. And I also want your guys' knowledge and information on what you think we should do with it in the comments. Guys, the craziest part of this house, it has an elevator that goes all 3 stories. It's unbelievable. All right guys, we're just in another room here and we're gonna walk through what we're thinking about doing with it. So there's really 2 main options. So option number 1 is what we call wholesale. It's where we closed on the property, cleaned it all out, and we're just gonna list it. We feel like we can list this property for about 1.15. So we bought at $825. We had our holding cost and our closing cost. So there's a really good spread there if we can get out without having to. So that's option number 1. There is nothing for sale in the neighborhood we're about to list this big 6,000 square foot beast in. What we want to do is we want to go back and see the last 6 months and drive those properties, look at those properties, and see exactly the difference between those and what we're about to list. And we feel really good about where we're going to list at 115. The biggest thing is comparable inside when you get to this size house. You know, is it the same? Really, the outside, is it updated? So those are the biggest things we look for. We're most likely going to go ahead and list the property and see if we can get the number that we're looking for while we budget out the rehab. And I'd highly recommend right now in this market, that's something that you guys do. Close on the property, list it, what you would want to get out of it as it sits, and see what happens. It could be one of the most quick, beneficial deals that you've ever done by doing a wholesale. Now, number 2, we would do the actual flip. As you can see in this room, we would do all new flooring, paint, all new trim. We would also update the cabinets, the bathroom. We think the flip could be anywhere between $150,000 and $250,000, depending on what we sink into it. This house is about 6,000 square feet, so it's gonna be a big rehab. Like I said, it's about $150,000 to $250,000, depending on what we do with it. So we would be all into this property over $1 million. We're thinking the comps would put this house in between about 1.4 and 1.5. But the rehab would take us probably another 4 to 6 months in holding costs, so we have to take that into account. It's really important that you take holding costs and rehab and final closing cost, as well as your agent fees into account when you're deciding whether or not you want to do a wholesale or a full out rehab on a property. We really, like I said earlier, like to look at the wholesale while we're getting our budget and getting everything done. This house is huge, and it has, like I said, the elevator in it. It has master down, has 5 bedrooms, has 1,000 square foot basement, 4-car garage. We think that this could be a phenomenal opportunity for anybody to put their own touch to it, or we would do our own touch. All right, guys, as a wrap up here, we bought for $825 through our marketing. We're thinking about putting about $150,000 to $200,000. We'd have about $50,000 to $80,000 in holding costs, and hopefully make over 200 grand when it's all said and done. Overall, we think this was a phenomenal opportunity, which is why we took it down. And we're really excited to show you what it looks like at the end if we decide to rehab it. As always, thanks for watching. Leave your comments on this one. We really want to know what you guys think of this opportunity and what you guys would do with it. As always, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and tell your friends.